I saw a lot of Twitter and a lot of organizations, news sites that were giving him for not wearing a mask.
Well, I also saw did you see the article that said that the Tom Brady fandom is one of the last expressions of like white rage or whatever? I swear to God, I saw the headline. I'm like, you got to be kidding me.
Are you serious?
Oh yeah, they're already starting with the Tom Brady represents white. It's the best. It's just so hard to take these people seriously.
Yeah, I did see. Oh man, there's not one, Mike. There's a few.
Oh no, yeah, it's starting. It's already starting. Tom Brady is obviously an because he's a white man who's successful. That's literally the only thing to like. This is why I love when they go after the Tom Bradys and the Chris Pratts and those kind of guys. I love when they go after those kind of guys because it really kind of reveals like who they are inside. Because there's no reason to hate certain guys because they haven't done anything, and you're like, oh, they're clearly a neo, and you're like, what? I don't.
Well, they've never forgiven him for having a MAGA hat in his locker room. They've never forgiven him for that.
Okay, but that's it. That is not for them to forgive.
No, I know.
Like, you know what I mean?
I'm with
like,
you.
The balls on these fucking people that just go like, like, dude, these guys are literally without controversy, and they have to find a way to put the label on them. And it's like, all that dude does, like Tom Brady is basically like not even a human being. He's a weirdo who only cares about football.
Hasn't eaten a carb since 2000.
Counts every calorie he eats. Probably has never experienced joy in his life. You know what I mean? He's just one of those guys. It's like, when is the next game? It's just like, that's it. Like, he probably is told by his wife when they're going to fuck. And it's like, okay. And he just goes. He shows up. You know, he probably sticks to his schedule. So she's like, 4 o'clock, we're fucking. And he's like, okay, I'll be there at 3:37.
Yeah,
he probably calls her coach. You know, like, it's...
Okay, coach.
You know what I mean? Like, it's his whole thing is just, I want to play football. Leave me alone. And he doesn't bang kids. He's not drinking and driving. He's not stabbing people at fucking strip clubs.
All right,
in Atlanta.
he's white. I know.
That's what I mean. And they hate him.
I know.
They hate him. And all he does is play football and go the fuck home. That's all he does.
So, somebody put a bunch of these together. Here we go. Toxic masculinity is on full display.
Oh yeah, this was nonstop last night.
Blue check marks call out Tom Brady for not wearing a mask to the Super Bowl.
Good. It's about time we address this.
Tampa Bay star QB Tom Brady arrived at the Super Bowl without a mask, and today, people have thoughts. So somebody retweeted, is everyone in this clip except Tom Brady wearing a mask? Of course. Considering everything happening in the stadium, I doubt this actually matters. But, dude, as famous as Tom Brady should be, do the right thing and wear a mask. I think I have to turn off this game. It's making me angry. Imagine being a man and not watching the Super Bowl because Tom Brady didn't wear a mask.
To be fair, I mean, these aren't men.
Yeah.
These aren't even people who normally watch football.
You're
it's
right.
the Super Bowl. So we're not talking about like a Barstool sports guy saying that and you going like, what the fuck is, you know what I mean? During a regular season game. We're talking about the Super Bowl where it's like the Super Bowl is like the St. Patrick's Day of football, right? It's the day where everybody drinks. It's the day where everybody watches, even if they're not like, you know what I mean? Like, even if you're not an alcoholic on St. Patrick's Day, you're probably going to get
drinking,
loaded.
yeah.
Yeah, and it's like with the Super Bowl, you probably don't even watch football, but it's Super Bowl. You're going to watch it. So this is where a lot of these kind of, types start popping up out of the woodwork, and they're like, is football an expression of whites? And you're like, no. Next question. Go away. Stop ruining football.
Jenna Wadsworth says, obviously not at CDC Gov. She tagged the CDC Gov guidelines since Tom Brady's privilege.
Does she not realize that Tom Brady outranks anybody at the CDC?
Yeah, he does.
In American hierarchy?
Yes, of course he does.
Like, who from the CDC? They're going to be like, oh, I'm from the CDC. And he's going to go, oh, it's cool. I'm Tom Brady. Greatest of all time.
Looks like we have an issue.
I've literally made John Elway my bitch. So, like, what do you
do to
complain
me?
about? Little mask? Do you wear a little mask?
So Tom Brady's privilege, toxic masculinity is on full display without a mask covering his Smug face.
Well, that part I'll give you.
That part I'll give you. Can't help it. It's not his fault. His face is smug.
I'm just saying.
Yeah.
Okay, if we're going to attack them for where they're wrong, we have to give them credit where they're right.
Enough.
The smug face part, I will give you. It's the white supremacy, and then I also love this privilege thing, right? Like, it's sort of like how many people go through life and they go, you know, it's not fair. Like, they'll see some guy and they go, like, you know, why do I got to go work at a factory and these guys are getting millions of dollars to chase a ball around? And you're like, because they're good at it, because they practice, they got really good at it, and because it is a very, very elite. Like, whether you like football or sports or not, it's very, very hard, even if you practice and you're obsessed with sports, right? And it's your entire life. It's still very hard to get to that level. And it's like, to pretend like work didn't go into it is my favorite. They're just like, is he privileged? Like, yeah, the Patriots made Tom Brady a starting quarterback for a decade because he's a good-looking white guy. Do you really think that that's the reason, or is it just because he could take coach instructions and go, so get the ball over it, you got it, and it just deliver when he's asked to deliver? That's not an easy job. There's a reason why there's so many mediocre quarterbacks in the NFL, because it takes a lot to be the best. Fucking privilege. I love that.
Max Lewis, these are all verified people. Brady is apparently too good to wear a mask. Of course, Tim Brady. Tim Brady isn't wearing a mask. Go inflate some balls.
I mean, at least get his name right.
Yeah.
And by the way, that was a woman.
Of course.
I want to point out. Yeah.
Timothy Brady.
Yeah. Hey, why don't you go deflate some balls, Tim Brady? Like, why don't you just, lady?
Why are you?
Stop
Come
it.
on, you're not in your wheelhouse right now. And then, of course, NFL Game Day. I had no interest whatsoever in winning or losing. I just was interested in taking the next breath. At Tom Brady's parents sat down with Andrea Kramer to detail Tom Brady Sr. overcoming COVID and the excitement of getting to see his son play in the 10th Super Bowl. So they're trying to...
Wow, let's take that wonderful, heartwarming story. Let's shit on that. Let's just shit all over that, right? Let's call Tom Brady a super spreading white because there's a picture of him kissing his dad's forehead and going like, hey, look at us. My dad's alive. I won the Super Bowl. Yeah, look at that. And they're going, you fucking... You piece of shit.
Somebody posted a picture of Tom Brady every single year he played.
You know what? They did this during the game.
Yep.
They did some kind of like morphing thing, and you're like, and you really, it sinks in. You're like, this dude's been around forever.
Dude, forever. Somebody actually put COVID won't be around for that long, and then COVID. It's just fucking every
That's
picture,
hilarious.
Every picture of Tom Brady.
That's very funny.
Dude.
I like that.
My favorite Tom Brady one is between two. Kind of little chunky Tom Brady over here, or the Jonathan Taylor Thomas Tom Brady.
I actually lean with the Jonathan Taylor Thomas. The part in the middle it's very
the
late 90s.
One?
It's very late 90s, early 2000s.
Yeah, I like
that is
it.
A specifically early 2000s look.
Yeah.
It's the AJ Soprano haircut.
Yeah.
But like, no, he's not chunky in the other one. I think he's way more beefed up.
I think you might be right.
I think he was just because when you're a quarterback, they'll tell you like you can lose muscle. You don't need to be jacked to be. And he was probably all roided out in college.
Yeah,
you know what I mean? He was probably coming down off the road because he was probably like fucking jacked in college, and then they were like, "Look, man, you don't need to be huge to be a quarterback."
The amount of people that are really that are mad, I think, is hilarious. For the record, Mahomes is missing his whole starting O-line, but Brady's still the best. Doesn't matter. Stop. I understand. You guys want Mahomes to be the best person in the world. I understand. Listen.
He's a great quarterback, but he's like 12 years old. Get over it. He lost the Super Bowl. He made it to the Super Bowl. Didn't he already win one?
Listen.
Hasn't he already won a Super Bowl?
Yeah, he's won one.
So
already.
Calm down. Nobody's saying
he's gonna win.
Nobody's saying Patrick Mahomes is bad. Yeah. It just was. He got carved up by Tom Brady last night.
He's gonna win more. Don't worry about it. Okay.
I honestly felt bad for him. I was watching that game and I was like I gotta give Mahomes props for he's a tough dude because that was like he was wobbling towards the end, man. But he finished the whole game. But he looked like somebody who really didn't want to finish that game because they were just pounding him, and it was just like he kept getting up like, "I'm okay, I can go more." I was like, Jesus, dude.